Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to Love Adventure number 2 readings. The last time I did love readings was about 3 or 4 months ago. It was like back in June of this year. So it's time for an update. Now, these are timeless, of course, but love is such an amazing adventure into knowing who we really are. So we're going to jump in and see what's coming next in our adventure of love. If you want to check out the previous ones, I will throw a link to the playlist for the Love Adventure number 1 at the end. So if you want to go check those out, feel free to do so. But let's go ahead and jump in and see what is in store for you. All right, all my Scorpios, this is your reading for the next 3 months for your love adventure. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Roomie Oracle. And what that's going to represent is what the Creator wants you to know about overall over the 3 months. And it can be the energies or the overall theme or just what the Creator wants you to know. All right, so for our Scorpios, Creator, what do you want them to know about this next 3-month adventure in love? Okay, I feel like this is the one right here. And you have the Hand of Fatima, card number 43. Beautiful, beautiful imagery there. We're going to put that right here. And then we'll read from the book here. And I am going to thank you for your patience ahead of time because they do go a little detailed here. But everything that I've read in all the previous readings, it's totally worth it. So I appreciate your patience while you have story time with Bretta Zen as I read to you. The first little piece of it is from Roomie and from the card as well, from this overall energy. And it says, "My hand watches over you. It brings you blessings and comfort, protection and grace. Radiant with divinity am I, and you are my child, my beloved, my angel, and my body too. I shall never leave you. Turn your inner eye to me and see the light of my grace in your heart. You cannot be harmed. You cannot be defiled. You can only ever be what you are, me, alive, radiant with love." It's beautiful. And that goes on to say, "You are giving birth to more spirit than you have ever held before. During such times, a divine midwife can be helpful and supportive. This is Fatima, Fatimah, radiant daughter of the great beloved, who reaches from the skies, who reaches up from within your body, from deep within the earth, and brings you the gift of protection, grace, and love. You are safe. You are held and you are bound with her warmth. She has received your prayers and she honors your devotion to life, to love, and to growth. She will help you. Ask for her blessing daily. You can use the simple sacred honoring ritual to do so if you need guidance on how to pray to her. But any words from your heart spoken in authenticity will suffice, no matter how simple or ornate they may be. She responds to the feeling behind words, and she responds instantly beyond time and space. In fact, she has responded even now, perhaps before you even knew she was needed." That's the best kind of help, right? That comes even before you realize you need it. Says this oracle brings you the guidance that what is being born in your life right now, in your own consciousness as a seed, perhaps of a new way of being, a new idea, a belief system, philosophy, or sense of self, is going to come to maturity under the loving protection of the Divine Mother. You're also being asked to heed your intuition and instincts. Have some discernment about who you involve yourself with and how you choose to use your time and energy. Allow yourself to feel Fatima's guidance and comfort in you by giving yourself permission to be nurtured. Through your own choices and the people or situations you say yes or no to in your life. This is a way to honor her presence and allow her to help you, which she wishes to do in all ways possible. Love is all things you see, dearest angel, and that means saying no can mean saying yes to something greater. So give yourself permission to say your no and yes as dictated by your heart. This oracle also brings you the messages that your body is sacred and worth your attention. You do not have to become obsessed. You do not have to push or judge your body, but you can honor him or her as a sacred animal through which your spirit creates soul and expresses itself in the world. This is a truly wonderful and amazing gift, extraordinary and yet fraught with challenge. The spirit can be powerful. Sometimes it can be hesitant too, enough to really engage with the body and come to life. There is a story that angels sang music to lure the spirit into the body, but used to its freedom, it was reluctant to experience itself in what looked like rather confining matter. So yeah, our spirit is hesitant to go into that little thing. The spirit did not know that Fatima would be initiating the spirit into her mysteries through the body. She was going to be sharing the sensuality of life, the sacredness of love, the deep mystery of life, death, and rebirth, and the wonders of nature. She was going to show the divine could live not only in light, but also in flesh. Fatima holds the wildness of divine feminine wisdom and the sanctity of life. She has great gifts of ecstatic presence, only able to be experienced through the spirit living in the body. She will share this if you allow her to guide you. Once the spirit recognizes this, even just gets a whiff of Fatima's glorious fragrance, the enthusiasm for life ignites, and the wonders of the world experienced through the body become a way to receive the great beloved and turn all of life into the temple of love. And I apologize if I'm not saying Fatima correct. This oracle also comes with guidance. Give your body rest, and healing is most beneficial at this time. There are symptoms you are experiencing, anything from fuzzy headedness to tiredness and aches and pains, as well as shifts in body temperature that seem unbalanced. And these are directly related, if not solely, to the interaction of your spiritual essence with your sacred animal body. These will even out under Fatima's grace and protection, like two housemates learning to live together and enhance each other, rather than distract and annoy each other with their quirks and differences. It's like the odd couple, right? This settling in process will happen all the more easily when you ask for Fatima's help. This oracle also advises that if you ask for help and protection in any matter, it will be granted. There is no exception to this rule. There's nothing you have done that has made you unworthy of divine intervention, grace, and love. Not one thing, ever. Ask, trust, and receive. Beautiful. Yeah, definitely a wonderful journey. I know it's like, what's going on? But I love this power of no, that you can say no to what you don't want and yes to what you do want. It's this beautiful birthing in it. And like you said, it's like this, she said, it's this coming together of recognizing your higher spiritual self, joining with this human self. And instead of feeling like you have to battle and that the spirit must destroy the ego, it's about this wonderful coming together of the two with that. And then with that, instead of being in fear with that, the human fears rejection, fears not being loved, so it won't take chances, it won't take risks, it won't say no. But with that joining together of that powerful you, it's like together, it's like your human side goes, I'm willing to take more risks because I found the most best roommate ever who loves me unconditionally, and so I don't fear not being loved because I know I always will be now. And you have that connection to it. So I really, really love that. We're also going to pull a card here from the Crystal Medicine Oracle. And this is just going to be like what tool or medicine helps you with this transformation or this integration of becoming cohabitational roommates in your body with your, recognizing your spirit is living in there. And then about also that bravery that's coming, that courage that's coming within you to say no to the things that you no longer want to invest your energy in, you no longer want to say yes to. Like you're coerced into saying yes out of fear, right? All right, Creator. So for Scorpios, what do you want them to know about what medicine will help them integrate together and embrace the power of no? Yep, angels and spirit guides. Makes total sense. Upper world is your medicine. It's card number 2. And angelite, of course, is the crystal. So yeah, definitely connecting to your higher self. And the number 2 is all about that, understanding that there is 2 of you that are living inside your body. 2 of you, 2 parts of you, because your ego is a part of you. Your shadow is a part of you. You never get rid of it. You don't want to, because it is a part of you. It's giving you experience. It's giving you just beautiful wisdom and beautiful understanding through the experience of the humanness and experiencing, like it said, you're, called into this small little body. It's a piece of you went into it, and it goes like, oh, it feels so cramped and small and powerless and restricted, and there's so much fear in this world. But then you're like, wow, this is what this experience I'm feeling helps me understand the powerful that I really am. And it really, this is like the small you, and then this is the huge spirit you of who you really are. And it's like you're giving yourself this high five, but you're joining hands. It's almost like someone putting their hand up, and you put their hand up, and then you join together, and you're like, yes, we're hand in hand. And so I love this imagery too, because it just goes so well together here. But let's see what message comes within. Don't worry, this isn't as long as this other one, but beautiful messages. So it says you have attracted this card into your awareness today as a sign that your angels and guides are reaching out to you from the spirit world. Throughout your life's journey, you have spirit guides and angels guiding you from the other side, offering you love and support in times of need. Have you been praying for guidance? Are you feeling lost and not sure which direction to take? Have you asked for healing and are not sure what to do? Have you sensed a presence around you and are not sure who it is? Please know that your angels and guides are currently with you more than ever, and they have your back. They are constantly sharing their love and wisdom, and it's time for you to slow down, tune in, and feel their nurturing presence and to hear their wishes of love. These powerful beings are a higher aspect of yourself. So open up to this powerful wisdom of your own soul and higher self. Shut up, right? Make sure you take some time in meditation to connect deeply to this energy and know that your prayers are being answered and you are never alone. And that was like the final sentence in, I think, the last phrase, and right? Ask, believe, and receive. And the medicine is upper world. It says the upper world is one of 3 major spiritual worlds the shamans visit to receive messages and healing. It is home of all the higher vibrational beings. To journey to this world, you must enter into a deep state of meditation and set an intention to travel to the upper worlds. Shamans would call upon their power animals to guide them in these worlds and then allow their spirits to rise to the higher planes of existence. Celtic shamans would enter this world through the tree, knowing the upper branches delivered them into the higher realms. You can also enter into the upper world by imagining you have wings and are flying or are in a hot air balloon. As long as you journey upwards, you'll be able to get there in whatever way works for you. The upper world is a non-reality world that resides in higher vibrational planes, so when traveling there, it's best to relax and trust the process and allow your intention to guide you. When in the upper world, you can expect to meet angels, ascended masters, spirit guides, light beings, and all souls of the higher angelic energies. It's time for you to connect to this world and receive wisdom and healing. Well, you just can't make that up. So it's definitely a clear message here. And of course, Scorpios, you being water signs, you have this amazing ability, one, to connect to your emotional side, which is where we connect to the upper worlds. We connect through the heart, and that is your realm. You master that. You're also masters of transformation. And so this movement, you move from a scorpion who stings to a snake who still needs to be respected because it can still strike and bite, but it sheds its skin. It grows and it sheds its skin and it sheds old ways and becomes a newer and newer being. And then it transforms into an eagle, and an eagle moves to the high skies, sees things from a higher point of view, but still dives down to protect what it cares about. Its loved ones, its possessions, and different things like that. It'll swoop down to protect it, but then has the ability to swoop back up and still look at things from a higher perspective. And then eventually the eagle, you transform from that into a phoenix, a magical, beautiful phoenix. So you have this wonderful transformational energy that you just master. You're not afraid of evolving and changing yourself. You actually thrive for it and desire it, as long as it's you wanting to change and not someone trying to change you. And what we're going to do, I've got two the exact same deck of the Love Oracle cards. One is in the color black, which I consider these like the shadow cards, and it's the exact same deck, but it's in pink, which pink is this rose quartz heart, which is your higher heart, your higher spiritual heart, and is full of unconditional love, your higher spirit being, and this represents the unconditional loving side of it. And for this reading, because this really zeroed in on the power to say no, what these cards are going to represent are what you have not said no to before, but you're ready to say no to now. And it is a general reading, so I'm not going to be able to cover them all, of course. So just take what resonates and leave the rest for everyone else. You will have your own knowledge of it, of course. You will know. And you know what you're ready to say no to now that you haven't in the past. And during these 3 months, it'll show itself. All right, Creator, for our Scorpios, what do you want them to know about what they wouldn't say no to before out of fear, and what they're ready and will be able to say no to during this 3-month adventure? All right, so you have the Axe. Well, there you go. That's the saying the no. Breaking up, separation, stopping the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. Yeah, so you're ready. You are ready to break up and relationships that no longer serve you. I really feel and again, general reading, but for a large portion, there's these situations, either it's a relationship or like a job or a living situation, something along those lines, where you've been waiting for the other person. Like, I'm waiting for the other person to break up with me because I don't want to be blamed for the one, or I'm waiting for my job to fire me. I don't want to leave it because I don't want, people think that I left a job, and that I failed because I couldn't make it there. It's like these unhealthy situations that are no longer serving you, that you're waiting for them to be the one that, is the one that axes you. But you are ready for that. And so definitely it's that type of feel where there's these situations like, I don't want to be the one to give myself the axe at work. It's like I'm waiting for them to give me the axe. And that's, of course, outside of just work. And then you have these beliefs around abundance. And it really is like you've been afraid to choose things that it's like you're afraid if you're not sure that you're going to be able to 100% be successful at it, you're not going to take the chance. And you have this kind of underlying beliefs about your worth around abundance. And it's like in your head, that I deserve things and but in your heart, you still have believed some old painful things people have said to you, or how people have treated you, which gave you the message that you're not worth it. And so you've been believing that. And there's been like, the question is like, do you think you're worthy of anything better? And now you get to say yes to that. Whereas before you were believing like, well, obviously by, what I've experienced, I'm not worthy. But now as your roommate moves in, they're like, heck yeah, you're worthy. You're worthy of so much abundance, and I'm going to show you, and so these feelings of lack and these emotions around abundance, and you're not being worthy of having those things that you want in your life, that's going to change, because before, you have been saying that you are not worthy. They said, it's like the question, because you've been saying yes to it before, is you believe you're not worthy of that stuff, and you're like, yeah, I do. And now you're like going to be able to say, no, I don't think I'm worthy of all that poor treatment and all that lack. I am worthy of abundance. And that's that transformation that happens there. And then you have girl talk. And this is time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment. Sorry, it looks like it's getting blurry there. And this is my vision, having fun. And I really feel like this is this, it's almost like this story that you've been telling yourself, and this does have to do a little bit around worthiness, of course, as well, in that because you have not found this relationship that's lasted long enough for you, like you feel like you found somebody you clicked with and somebody you really liked, but it never goes very far. And you've faced it like over and over again. And that can be, again, relationship or, jobs or situations that you're trying to obtain somehow. But it's this belief, again, that because I'm not getting what I want, I'm going to not get to the heart of the emotion, and I'm just going to pretend. And that I'm like, oh, well, I just enjoy time with my friends. Who needs, another person romantically in my life? Or I'm just going to go enjoy and do whatever I do. Who cares if you have this job, that you went to school for and got a degree and that you love and want to do, but you're not able to get a job, in that particular field. You're like, oh, who cares? It's like this little facade that has been put on, because again, it's that self-talk that you're giving yourself, and you're like trying to fool yourself on the surface, but again, your heart is like, what are you doing? What are you saying? All that stuff, that's not how you're really feeling. And you're like, shh, be quiet. I'm just going to portray this in the outside world so people don't know how I really feel, because how I really feel doesn't deserve it. And so you've been saying no to yourself, and facing your emotions and feeling like you can, that you can feel those emotions. Like, I'm not supposed to feel that way. I'm not supposed to be vulnerable. I'm not supposed to feel all this stuff, so I'm going to pretend like I don't, and just, have that, again, this mask on. But you're going to be able to say yes, because when you connect to your higher self, they are a great listener. And they're like, come here, come, I'm going to, they sit down on this big comfy couch, and you both have coffee or tea or whatever, and you just lay down, and they put a pillow in their lap, and you're just laying there, and they're like, tell me about it. And you're just like, boo, you just pour out to them. And, because you're safe, there's no judgment. They love you unconditionally. So they're like this individual within you that you can trust, right? And then you have the butterfly, relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child and growth. And I really feel like there's this, of course, the caterpillar is the small you, the small you down here, the caterpillar, and this is the butterfly you. And but you don't believe that you can be a butterfly. And so that's a big no that you've been saying in your life, is like, I can't be that. I only can be this. This is who I am. I can only crawl on the floor of the jungle. I can only consume and just eat all of these leaves, and I'm just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm just a giant caterpillar. Because you don't want to, someone says the caterpillar soup, you don't want to go into the cocoon and let these beliefs dissolve so you can see the true butterfly you really are. Because a butterfly, when it dissolves, that piece in the middle is still a piece of the caterpillar. In fact, the wings are made of the material of the caterpillar as it dissolves. A lot of its body dissolves in the cocoon to become the wings. And so all that experience is what you have. In fact, the struggle of the cocoon and getting out of the cocoon is what makes the wings strong enough for a caterpillar to fly. And so the struggles of this life and the struggles of understanding and all this stuff we went through is for a purpose, on purpose, because without the struggle, we wouldn't truly be able to fly and experience, like it talked about, this beautiful, magical, journey that you can have together, cohabitating, as one, So what we're going to look at next here, excuse me, I'm going to move our rose quartz heart here. This is our higher heart, so I'm going to put it right here. And then we're going to see that once you say yes to the things, what does that do? And what are you saying yes to when you realize just how powerful you really are, just how big you really are, and that you're not just this tiny, but you're a part of this huge being, this limitless, powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. You are a part of that. Your human side, your human physical body, the energy of that is part of it. Your soul, your mind, your emotions, all of that is part of your higher self. All right, great. So for our Scorpios, what do they say yes to once they meet their best roommate ever? Okay, there we go. You got photograph. Look at your photos, missing you nostalgia, making new memories is really what's standing out in here. The old movie that was playing in your head was like this horror movie, right? When you feel like you're alone and you're out and at the whims of anything in the external world defining who you are with all its unstableness, people's opinions of you changing with a moment, or people that believe in you pass away, situations never staying the same. Obviously, these last couple of years have been so unstable, showing us really what we have control over, right? And then things, if you define yourself by what you have, money comes and goes, things break down, deteriorate, burn down, or stolen. And so all those unstable world, it creates like this horror movie where now it becomes this love story where you join together in this beautiful union with this higher self. It's like a sci-fi romance, right? And then lightning. So sudden change is what it really, transformation on the bottom here, because the lightning bolt really is a lot about the tower moments in our life, where there's a great message with the tower card in the major arcana of tarot, which has a tower and a lightning bolts hitting it. And the story that comes with that for me, which they want me to tell you, is before you come down here, you're like your higher self chooses who you're going to come down here as, and so it's like this choosing an avatar for the game that you're going to play. Like, this is going to represent me. I'm going to be this person with these strengths and these weaknesses. I have these tools, blah, 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 right? And then you decide when you're also going to leave the game, and then everything you want to experience through here so that you can more fully understand who you are as this eternal, expansive being. Because if you're limitless, you don't know you are until you experience what it feels like to be limited. If you're made of unconditional love, you don't know what unconditional love is until you experience conditional love. So we come down to experience all these things. And so that's what I call like fated events that we have in our life. But within each of those fated events, what's amazing is that our little avatar still gets to choose the story that it puts around whatever's going on. And it can be a story of extreme fear, or a story of extreme unconditional love, or anything in between. And so as it's going through, it experiences all those things to understand and just grow in the knowledge of itself. There are things in our life, like it can be a relationship or a job or possession, something external in our lives, or even mindsets and thoughts, beliefs, expectations, that this is what's in our life. And if it doesn't get removed out of our life, we won't be able to experience these other things that we wanted to experience. So if you are connected to and listening to the higher realm, which again, you being Scorpios, water signs, you are hearing from the other side. If you're not like overwhelmed with fear and hearing that loud noise, you can hear those whispers of love and that communication. So you get to hear the countdown quite often when this is going to get removed. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you have a choice to remove it out of your life when you start hearing the countdown, or wait for it to be removed for you. And, the tower card in some decks will show someone leaping from the tower, and then on the other side of it, someone getting blasted out of the tower, right? And that shows you that you have a choice to, as soon as you know, like, yeah, that's toxic and no longer serves me, I'm going to remove it, then it removes at this point. But there's no shame, no guilt in waiting up to this point, because maybe you wanted to experience that all the way up to the end. You wanted to stretch out, feeling that to the extreme until it gets removed for you. But then if it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then it gets removed. And there's this beautiful message that comes from that. And that life happens for you, it doesn't happen to you. And this big transformation happens when those things are removed, because, like I said, if that wasn't removed, you wouldn't be able to experience these other things. So beautiful, beautiful, saying yes to accepting change, saying yes to whatever's happening, knowing that it's happening for you and you don't feel like you're being victimized. So that's that there. Hey, boom. passion. So with this, it's great because you don't feel like you are, sometimes you can wake up in the morning, especially if you're in this job we were talking about where you just feel like you're existing, you feel like you're living to work and that you're not working to live. And so you wake up and go, oh God, I woke up again. I didn't die in my sleep, darn it. Now I have to go to work again. Blah, blah, blah. My life is horrible. Blah, blah. You just don't have any energy for your life. You just feel lifeless. You feel like you're existing. But when you connect here and you understand what it is you really want to do, and you stop saying no to your dreams, like we talked about here, you start to be able to live your passions. And you wake up in the morning and you're like so excited, even if you have to go to work for 8 hours. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go do that at work, and and then after work I'm gonna go do this and this and this and this, because that's towards my dream. And then maybe eventually I can go part-time, and then eventually I can just do this full-time, and I'm gonna put a plan together because this is what I want to do. It changes from, like I said, you're not living to work, you're just now working to live your passions, right? And so it transforms and changes, and you're saying yes to your dreams, no longer saying no like you were before. The king's on a ring, many options. So yeah, I love this. Definitely, you have so many opportunities. You don't see life as so restrictive. You don't see it's like when you focus on lack and all that energy, you have this amazing power. Whatever you focus on grows. So when you focus on lack, there are no opportunities. You can't see them because you're so closed off to them. And that's all you see is this dark fog around you. But when you come into this place here, you see all these possibilities. You're like, I've got three keys on this ring. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. There's like so many ways to get to where you want to go. Like your passions before here, you might have been like, I can't see any way for me ever to be able to do that. So why do I even try? And this is like, because of your whole transformation of how you view things, you're like, oh my gosh, not only do I see one way, I see three ways that I can make that happen. Now, which one do I want to pick? Which one? It's like there's so much opportunity instead. So I am loving that. So yes to opportunities and possibilities instead of no. Let's take a quick sip of coffee here. Get rid of the frog in my throat. Excuse me. And then next we're going to pull cards here from these everyday tarot. I'm just going to find out what else the creator wants you to know about this next 3-month adventure in love. And as we said before, it doesn't have to be romantical love, or it can be friendships, it can be family. It's going to be impacting how you relate to your fur babies or feather babies, all those beautiful animals that are companions in your life. But I really feel this has to do with your self-love and this beautiful, finding the perfect, the best friend ever, the perfect love ever is within you, right? So I really love that. Yeah. So this is the Wheel of Fortune, and pretty much the Tower story I have is the beginning of all this, because the Wheel of Fortune shows you that everything happens for you, and that life is ever changing, and that you can walk with the changes of life. And I like having this little thing here because, like, this is the wheel, and this is you on top, right? And as life moves and changes, you can move with it, going, okay, this is happening for me, so I'm going with the flow. Or you can just hold on and go, oh my God, and you have to hold on for dear life. And the problem with that, or not problem, but the challenge, is that if you don't go with the flow, you're only on top 25% of the time. The other 75% you're holding on for dear life. So if you feel like that, then you can really see if the story resonates about I've chosen for everything to happen in my life in these fated ways, and I am realizing my power of choice, that I get to choose the story that I put with it all. So I love that the Wheel of Fortune showed up for you, because it is switching for you. You are becoming more aware. You're seeing things from this higher perspective, because not only are you connecting to your higher self, you're connecting to all your angels and your guides. And this is beautiful too, because you got the Queen of Swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations, all your mind stuff. And it's beautiful as she sits on this throne of cups. Cups is the water, which is your element. It's emotions. And so it's beautiful because you're able to so well balance your thoughts and your mindsets with your emotions. You don't make a lot of decisions solely with your mind. Now, you being a water sign, this can also be a message of, sometimes your emotions can get the best of you, and it takes some get into your mind, getting into your understanding of what you're believing. And once you change how you're communicating, then with yourself, then that changes where your focus is, right? And again, she has this, the Ace of Swords here, which is what she uses to cut away old thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve her. So those no's, those things you were saying no to, can transform it. And I love that she always has her hand outstretched, which means she's also open to receiving new thoughts and new beliefs. But a good message of, it's important to balance our decisions we make upon this earth. Don't make it just as your little earthly self, but bringing in that higher perspective allows you to see things in so much more clearer light. It's like moving out of this dark night of the soul into the bright sunshine, right? To where you can see, again, so many opportunities, so many options, so many different ways, and you allow people to believe what they want to believe. And you can believe what you want to believe. You no longer have to take on all their opinions as your own. You get to choose your own. Yep, Seven of Cups. So normally this is like, kind of dreamy. Cups are emotions again. There's so many things to experience and so many emotions we feel. And that's why we come down here, like we mentioned, this whole Wheel of Fortune. We're like, so many options. What do I want to feel and experience when I go down? And so what I love about this is also, I feel like this really connection with these opportunities. It's like where before maybe you just thought there was only one thing that you could accomplish, only one thing you could feel. Now you're like, oh my gosh, if I get to choose how I feel about anything, I'm the one that gets to choose what story I put around anything. What story do I want to put around that? Because I don't have to follow the popular opinion of how I'm supposed to feel about that. I don't have to anymore. I'm not afraid. I have my support group here that I know I'm always going to be loved. So how do I want to choose? And I'm going to choose to laugh at that instead of cry about that. People are going to go, you're crazy. And I'm like, I know, right? Isn't it awesome? I'd rather laugh than cry. I cried enough in my life. I'm ready for a different feeling around that, even though it's not popular, And then we're going to pull a card here, which is pretty cool that you already have your angels and guides coming in. But I'm also going to pull a card here from the Guardian Angel card. So your Guardian Angel's been with you since the very first second. And I know there's no time, and we'll say the very first moment that your soul formed. They were there along with you, and they're going to be with you for all eternity. And they chose to be created along with you, to be your companion. So there are again, a very close companion, one of your best friends on the other side, of course. And I love to show this card because it's just so beautiful. And it's a message overall of that you are never alone, that you have such a support team on the other side, the Creator, Spirit, got guardian angels and spirit guides, You've got your loved ones who've lived here in this life with you that have already gone back to the other side, your ancestors, just a whole slew of beings of unconditional love and light that love you and support you and are with you every moment of your life. And so just know you're never alone. Yep. And then you got acceptance. And I'll read that. It says, there's nothing about you that you need to fix. Reclaim the disowned parts of you that yearn for love and acceptance. You are beautiful just as you are, regardless of any faults you may perceive that you have. You are an eternally radiant being of light. Accept all that you are and just be you. Because when you truly accept yourself, your whole world will magically and lovingly transform. Perfect. Can't say any better, right? And lastly, we're going to pull some cards here from the heart affirmations. And I'm taking this white clear quartz heart, and I'm putting it over here. And I'm actually going to move our heart over here. And so what the crystal quartz or white quartz brings is this clarity around your past. Like with this Wheel of Fortune, as you fill up with this love and see things from that higher point of view, you understand that this everything happened for a reason. Everything happened for you, not to you. And you can look at this. This brings clarity around your past, brings you clarity around those things that bug you every single day, or are always coming up in your life throughout the week that just make you feel so down and so powerless. And this helps you bring new awareness to this, that those people's actions were not personal towards you. Our fear ego wants to take everything personally, but when we're able to see things from an unconditionally loving standpoint and go back to a memory, you realize the other person or people in this situation were just freaking out in fear, just like you were. They were just trying to be lovable, and they felt out of control, and they were trying to get some sort of resemblance of control in their life because they were seeking so desperately to be loved. And their actions, it's like swimming out to save someone who's drowning, and they're panicking, and they drag you under the water with them or smack you because their hands are flying around, and so you get an experience of pain because of someone else's panicking actions. And so you realize that, and it helps transform things. So just let that energy of that crystal quartz wash over you and your memories, and bring that in to your memories throughout these 3 months. Whenever you're faced with something, remember the white crystal quartz heart and let it transform and clarify things and bring clarity around those situations for you. All right, Scorpios, Creator, what are the final messages that you want to give Scorpio for this reading? Okay, that one and that one. So you have, I see clearly actions of manipulation. I see the truth. So just as I was saying, I'll put that one right here, because you see actions of manipulation, and then you see the truth that they were trying to manipulate because they felt that's the only way they could be lovable. That's the only way that they could get the control that they were seeking, so they felt safe. And then you have, my mind is open to new experiences that will transform my life. Well, that is totally the Queen of Swords we talked about here. So you're definitely open to new experiences and new thoughts, and they transform your life. And then, I accept my vulnerability. It strengthens my love of self. We'll put that right here. Yep. Because, in accepting the vulnerability, we realize we're not vulnerable at all. We see that strength that we have within us. And we can allow people to be whoever they're going to be and do whatever they're going to do, and actions and words towards us, whatever they want to do, because we know it doesn't mean anything about us. And it doesn't impact our worth anymore, because we find our worth in here, in this heart, right? Beautiful. Well, I'm loving this for you, Scorpios, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful 3-month adventure in love. And just know as you go through each and every day of this journey that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. If you did want to check out the first love adventure timeless reading I did, the link is probably somewhere here or somewhere down here for the playlist. You can go check that out if you feel so inclined, and if not, until next time, enjoy your journey, and I'll be talking to you very soon, I'm sure. You take care.